Breaking news. President Trump and Musk's $5,000 checks, a generous gift or a strategic distraction?
Well, the White House says the cost savings are mounting because of federal cutbacks, but so are the controversies. And the president's chief cost cutter is mulling the possibility of Doge dividend checks.
President Donald Trump and Elon Musk have announced plans to distribute $5,000 checks to Americans, claiming it is a response to the government's misuse of taxpayer money. While this may seem like a generous move, some question whether it is a distraction from a much deeper issue.
I think he's going to find $1 trillion.
Yeah, I think so.
President Trump and Elon Musk setting their sights high for spending cuts during an interview with Fox's Sean Hannity. And while federal employee layoffs have sparked protests, Musk says the goal is essential.
If the deficit is not brought under control, America will go bankrupt. This is a very important thing for people to understand.
At the core of the problem is the Federal Reserve's money-printing debt slave system, which funds the government and perpetuates the cycle of taxpayer exploitation. Critics argue that this unchecked money creation has driven the U.S. into crippling debt. Yet rather than exposing the central bank's role in this crisis, President Trump and Musk's financial handout could be a calculated move to pacify the public.
There's even under consideration a new concept where we give 20% of the Doge savings to American citizens and 20% goes to paying down debt, because the numbers are incredible, Elon.
What remains unspoken is that the Federal Reserve must eventually admit that its money-printing debt slave system is a crime, but not one it claims responsibility for. Instead, the real culprits in this narrative become the governments before Trump, making it appear as though the Federal Reserve had nothing to do with the original crime. By shifting the blame, the system ensures that people believe the crisis can be fixed by the very institution that created it, allowing the Federal Reserve to maintain control while appearing to offer a solution. However, the Federal Reserve itself is the entity pushing for a central bank digital currency, CBDC system, having determined that the American people cannot afford to pay back the national debt, not because repayment is impossible, but because debt slavery was never designed to allow for repayment in the first place. The true goal of this system has always been to keep the population permanently trapped in financial servitude. Now, the Federal Reserve sees a new and more efficient way to control the debt slaves through a CBDC-based system.
This afternoon, I'm laying out my plan to ensure that the United States will be the crypto capital of the planet and the Bitcoin superpower of the world, and we'll get it done.
Well, Chris, good evening. It is a humbling and honoring day to have the president's endorsement on this idea. I'm appreciative of the credit, but I got to tell you the truth. The credit goes to President Trump. Doge, this savings would not be possible without his leadership. We put it to paper, but President Trump is going to be the one to execute it, and he deserves the credit for it.
As the dollar faces the risk of losing its global status, some believe the ultimate goal is to introduce a CBDC system as the next evolution of financial control. If this is the case, President Trump's plan to save America could actually mean transitioning from the current debt slavery system to a CBDC-based debtor's prison, where financial control is even more centralized. Is this truly a rescue mission, or just a new way to maintain the same financial control over the American people, only now with even fewer freedoms?